Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 3 in the upper bracket semifinals, and I am Babel. We bring the Philippines qualifier for the Spring Championship. Game 3 is going to be exciting. Skyline up against Renovatio Team 2. This is going to be close. I mean, Skyline's best chance is right here if they want to go through to the upper bracket finals. And Renovatio, they just want to be an sister team, so I think that's going to be fair. Here, we actually got a draft starting, so we're going into game number 3 already, and you can see it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. Renovatio 2 with the first pick. Skyline picked this battleground. They lost the last game, so they are definitely going for another short and simple battleground. We got some picks, very interesting picks in ban. Renovatio banning out the ATC straight up. Zagara getting banned out as well. Rhaegar going through the cracks. Just basically mind-blowing because Rhaegar does so much shields. Tassadar and Diablo getting picked up by Skyline. And Renovatio 2 got to be very careful here. They are contemplating another Illidan, maybe a Chen again, which I think you're pushing a luck if you want the same Chen to work so many times. It just seems like Philippines is completely in their own, meta or doing their own thing. Illidan's a pretty good pick here. Would love to see Illidan, but the main reason why I'm afraid about this is because it's a bit too early for the Illidan pickup. Diablo Tassadar, doesn't hint at an Illidan. So Renovatio probably just want to make sure that it doesn't get banned out in the second banning phase. Rhaegar Illidan, man. Here, Renovatio going for Churn again. So that's 2 very highly agile and mobile targets with Flying Kick as well as Dive from Illidan. For Skyline here, they need to ban out something. They already got a support and 2 very devastating, you could say, backline punishers coming up from Renovatio. For Skyline, they're going to need to ban out something else as well. They ban out the Abathur. They've seen the games that Renovatio played, so they don't want to do with the Abathur. That's fine. For Renovatio 2, though, they've got quite a few options here. And primarily, it's going to be important for them to ban out something that combos out pretty well with the Diablo. But nope, they don't want to ban Thrall. They want to ban Sonya instead. Could just be because they don't want to give Sonya to Skyline. They feel that Sonya is the main reason why Skyline won the first game, and they don't want the same thing to happen again. Here, couple of decisions really. Testa with Diablo, completely mind-blowing combo, as well as a Malfurion and Thrall. So we got 2 supports and 1 Thrall, 1 Diablo. I'm not so sure what is being driven at here, but it does look like they're going for a sustain. And with just only Thrall with the frontline damage, Tassadar's not going to be able to do much there. Tassadar, unless he goes for Archon. Could it be Twilight Dream? I don't know, but Malfurion, You just have to wonder, because here it just looks like it's Malfurion sustain. Okay, if we legitimately try and be serious about this, Malfurion against Rhaegar, in terms of heals, Rhaegar already won it. He is the new king of sustain. Now Tassadar will be able to help Malfurion a little bit better, and that does help Skylines a little bit better. But what are you going to do here? You're going to shield up Thrall. It's not like he's got Divine Shield. There's nothing much Thrall could do as well. Renovatio 2. Going for a Leeming pickup. That's the range. We've actually seen this lineup before somewhere. And they wanted to pick up another support. Probably Malfurion's a steal away. They just don't want... Skyline does not want Renovatio 2 to have 2 support. 2 good support. So they picked up Tessa, they picked up Malfurion. There's still some other options available. Tarun is one of them. Still pretty okay. I like the Tarun pickup. A bit squishy. Rhaegar is also pretty much in a little bit of trouble there if you pick up Tyrande, because I don't think Rhaegar can solo heal up the entire team unless Tyrande goes in for a little bit of a talent pickup for support, like Overflowing Light and stuff like that. Skyline last pick is definitely going to blow everybody's minds, because it's not a conventional draft again. Renovatio 2 here, opting and consolidating what they want to pick. Zeratul, going to be fun. Zeratul, these days, don't go for Void Prison. It's going to be Shadow Assault. Shadow Assault jumping on Skyline. You will be able to tear apart Thrall pretty easily. I think Malfurion as well. Feldstad getting picked up instead, so no Zeratul here. We're going to see 2 range damage dealer and 2 frontline. This is a draft that looks to be a little bit scary for me, for one simple reason. Yes, you have a lot of mobility and range heroes. The thing here is that Illidan and Chen, they're going to be out of position. Rhaegar is somewhere going to be in the middle. Leeming and Feldstad, they're highly mobile and agile, so they can switch in and out and get flank a little bit easier, as in they can get into the flanking position a little bit easier. Now, Rhaegar's heals is actually chain heals, so you need all of them to be within the same proximity, which would be pretty hard considering there's a Thrall there, and Sundering, if it does go down, it will hurt. Diablo. The last time I seen Thrall and Diablo combo, a legit one, it's actually in China Go League season finals. I think Evo Gaming pulled off an Apocalypse with Earthquake combo, and I think that worked out pretty well. But Skyline here contemplating again if they want to go in for a hero that actually would be able to do some good damage, and it's gonna be Greymane. Greymane, Thrall, Malfurion, Diablo, Tesla. Didn't blow my mind because it went mainstream after a while. But Greymane, Thrall, Malfurion, okay. They got some pretty good heroes there. Thing here is that there is a lack of synergy between Diablo and Thrall. And there's a lack of synergy between Greymane and Thrall as well. You're not expecting Thrall to burst down the same target Greymane does, because Greymane's going to the back line. Thrall's probably going to try and keep up the just the damage to the front line of Renovatio. Pretty much and simple and clear, but we are actually looking at Renovatio winning this draft. I would say that it looks uncontested. For Skyline, they're going to have to pull a rabbit out of a magical hat again to be able to win Renovatio Team 2. And here, you can see that Diablo, Thrall, it's as close to a magical rabbit as much as possible, but is there a hat to pull it out of? That's the question. They got a lot of sustain. They got some good range damage with Greymane. Greymane could also go in for the burst against Li Ming. I like that. Thrall needs to secure the lockdown against Li Ming for it to work, though. Diablo does not want to overextend because there will not be much of a support in that direction, especially if Malfurion's going to follow Greymane and Thrall, and you're going to be left with Tesladar. That's not what you want to see happen. Okay, so in the early game, you're probably going to have, I would say, maybe Skyline having a bit of a lead. Diablo, Malfurion as a bit of a combo. Maybe. Renovatio on the flip side does not have anything in the early game. They definitely want to soak this one up. There's a lack of mercenary camp, so there's not much of a value to pick Illidan here. Still should be okay. He can solo the Bruiser camp. That's going to buy the team some time. Maybe the team can also go for rotation or just basically soak up the lane. That should still be okay. So once we're ready, we're going to game. This is Tomb of the Spider Queen. And once again, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys being here. It's been a really long day for me. I just came back from Macau yesterday from holiday, and I arrived in Singapore about 3 to 4 a.m. This is slated to begin at 9 a.m. I was in the studio since like 8:30 or something like that. And just basically there's been a huge delay all the way to 2 p.m. actually. So that's a 5-hour delay, 4-hour plus 5-hour delay, and now it's already 7 p.m. in Singapore, which would mean that I have been awake for 12 hours, and I've been casting for the last 2 to 7, 5 hours, and there's gonna be a lot more games left because this is only the upper bracket semifinals. There's the upper bracket finals, and that's also the lower bracket finals, and then the grand final. So that's 3 at least, maybe even a rubber set. We're looking to continue this broadcast directly for the next 5 hours, which would make the transition to the NA Regionals a lot easier. NA Regionals is slated to begin, I think, at about 10 a.m. Western time, West Coast. So that basically PST at least. So what that means is should be beginning at about 1 a.m. my time. And 1 a.m. my time would be about 6 hours later. Is that correct? Let me know. We'll have to see. By the way, guys, I don't think it's Bloodlust. I've been saying it's Bloodlust for the longest possible time, but I don't think it is. I would have loved it if they picked up another support, but I think that they were more concerned about winning the game than playing a show match. So, don't think it's going to be Bloodlust again. It should be an ancestral healing just to keep Illidan alive. There's a lot of resources to keep Illidan alive. He's got Metamorphosis to get away. He's also got that to go in to get some extra heal back up. Rhaegar also should be looking for ancestral healing only on Illidan. Li Ming in the back line would be more or less healed up by the chain heal. For Chen, Fortifying Brew should be going in to just set up some shield for the allies. We'll see what kind of a build it is. So far, haven't really gone deep into Chen builds yet, but I know that the Ring of Fire has been really much popular in the Philippines, also the same way I play Chen, so it's legit, man. Alright, current score 1-1. Game number 3, we're loading up to Sky Temple. And we got that Chun, Rhaegar, Illidan, Li-Ming, Feldstad. And on the side for the other team here, it's going to be Greymane, Thrall, Malfurion, Diablo, and Tassadar. Tomorrow, Spider Queen, very small battleground, and the advantage here is definitely going towards Skyline in the early game. I don't think that Renovatio has got much until level 10, so we'll see how they cope with it in this one. Alright, game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. On the blue team, it's Renovatio II, Leamington onto the Feldstad. We also got Jumpy Lion playing as the Illidan, an original hero he is being famous for. Kaija playing as Li-Ming. We got a Surai onto Chun, Leamington, like I said just now, on the Feldstad 4 onto Rhaegar. And on the red team, it's going to be Skyline. Skyline, represented by Minjong, onto the Tassadar. Wipeout will be playing as the Greymane. We also got Makishi onto Diablo. The Penguin as Malfurion, last but not least, Extreme. Going to be playing as the Thrall. Last and final game here before we go for a short break after that and bring you the upper bracket finals, best of 3 style. Skyline 1, Renovatio 2 1. This is going to be close. Whoever wins this game now, going to advance forward into the upper bracket finals to face Renovatio Team 1. That's the tough one. So far, rotation seems to be pretty okay. We got a Wipeout on the top lane doing whatever Wipeout does. Just basically soaking the EXP here. Leamington trying to land a lightning rod, but not going to get it done. Bottom lane, you already see the rotation going in. A great entangling root combo against the Illidan, but that's about it. They don't have enough damage coming from Thrall. Plus, there's 2 supports in this lineup here for Renovatio 2. One of it being Rhaegar, and he's exactly here. Mana's already down to 50%, but he's going to have the opportunity here to tap the well and get back up to full HP. For Skyline, the rotation is still going pretty strong. On the side for Renovatio, don't think they're actually rotating the mid lane enough. Extreme again looking for the Ferris Spirit to connect. Makishi goes in, and there goes the lockdown. They want to make sure they burst down 4 dropping, and 4 will go down. Rhaegar's already gone. The combo is still working out pretty well in the early game, but Thrall going down to the Illidan. And that's really sad news. So they went in for the rotation and the gank, and they still lost the target at the end. 1-1 trade, pretty even. No first blood bonus. That's the wrong game. Skyline looking for the level 3 as soon as possible. Greymane soaking up the top lane. Meanwhile, in the mid lane area, it's just a Chun here. The combo being executed by Skyline seems pretty perfect. Like you saw the timing on the overpower Shadow Charge, entangling root into Ferris Spirit. That worked out pretty okay. Problem is my only issue here is I don't think it's gonna work post level 10. Illidan, meanwhile, got trouble. Daggers entangling root again. Extreme taking a bit of a beating, but we'll be okay. Leamington swings by, throws out the Hammerang. Kaija's also here. Arcane up does connect. The red team again with a bit of rotation going down to the bottom area. For Renovatio 2, they're doing whatever they can to stay alive in this game. Extreme rotating as well. Current level lead, very slight and negligible, but it's still a lead going towards Renovatio 2. And hopefully Minjong is going to have the space here to break away the gate and enter the market. Because it's important for the team here to make sure that the gate is not going to stand. That's it, level 4, both sides looking at some talent options. It seems to be very clear that the Chun's going for the same Swift Reflexes build. This is a purely sustained base. Ring of Fire level 7, we've seen this already. Spirit Walker's Grace instead of the Lightning Shield build. So it's a bit of a hybrid for Rhaegar. It's much needed. It's the solo support for the team. We also got Immolation coming in as well as the Shadow Shield. And Power Hungry into Dominance for Li-Ming. And on this side here for Feldstad, it's nothing special. Seasoned Marksman into the same Power Throw Secret Weapon combo. For the red team, again, very consistent pick as well. We got Elun's Grace. That's the only thing that's a little bit different, with Moonburn coming into play here. Mental Acuity coming in from Tassadar. Thrall going for the standard North American version of Thrall with Ride the Lightning and Rolling Thunder. Both very much needed to keep Thrall sustained in most of the fights there. Next up, we also got Diablo going for the standard, okay, not so standard Soul Catcher, but this one regenerates 1 soul every 4 seconds. And doesn't have that much of an impact or burden on Diablo that he has to actually stay lane and get a soul count up. For Greymane, actually, is going to be the perfect aim and the Drought Overflow. Hold that thought, Leamington going down, pretty easy kills. Rotation-wise, so far this stage of the game should be going heavily in favor for Skyline, but we're not seeing that. Minjong with a very nice dimensional shift stays alive. Kaija rotates to the bottom area. We also got a blue web weavers descending here. Rotation does go in. Chen getting bursted down. Chen in a lot of trouble now. Tries to use Fortifying Brew to stay alive, but will not be enough. Jumping line jumping onto the Penguin. And you still see Malfurion dropping a lot of HP here. Probably going to go down. The Lightning Shield doing so much work. Coming out from the Rhaegar. It's doing so much more damage to the target that Illidan decides to stick on. And we got Ring of Fire as well as Cleanse, First Aid, Calamity, Las Benalis. It is going to be the secret weapon. And on the side here for Skyline, they actually got Mule. And I don't see how Mule's going to really help. Minjong, meanwhile, dying there after the roundabout, buying a lot of time, but it may not be enough. Kala's Brace coming in here for Tassadar. You also got to follow through instead of any other conventional talents that have been witnessed coming from Thrall before. Diablo going for Soul Still, in fact, that basically gives a bit of an extra heal. Gilnean Cocktail, this is very much needed, the Incendiary Elixir. This is a very key talent here for Greymane because it's going to be able to do a lot more damage. It automatically explodes, so you don't have to worry if it did or did not explode, throwing in the right direction. That's important for Greymane. Level 16 is where he's going to get Concentrated Blast. Level 13 is probably where he's going to get some extra movement speed as well. We'll have to see. Or maybe just increase range on Dark Flight and Disengage. Leamington looking for a turn-in. Currently, Renovatio is in a pretty interesting spot. They're going for the boss. They're not level 10 yet. If the red team finds this out, it may be the biggest throw we will witness coming in from this tournament. Wipeout in the mid lane, or rather top lane, just doing whatever he can to keep this lane going and soaking up the EXP again. For the rest of the team members, they're not even going to suspect that there's a boss attempt. This is going to be the perfect timing for a boss. It's just an Illidan as well as a Rhaegar. That's about it. So once they get the boss, they should be looking at level 10, which would mean really bad news here for Skyline, because the top lane is going to get pushed in. Looking at the talent options, it's the Wandering Keg, as well as the Ancestral Healing, Metamorphosis, Disintegrate, as well as the Mighty Gust coming to play here. And there's nothing Skyline can do once again. They're just sitting ducks right now at this stage. They need to get a level 10, which is by no means easy. And you could see that the mid fort's already in a lot of trouble, dropping very quickly. Primarily, you don't see a lot of damage against the boss, which is good. So the boss should be able to rally the rest of the members to go in for a top lane push there. Already knocking on the inner tier 2, which would be tricky. The gate still standing, and there we have it. Finally, the Fair Spirit going in. Not able to pick up anyone, though. Diablo still in the bottom area, farming as much as he can. Looking for the angle to go in for the fight. The top lane's got 4 members here from Red Team. Already Skyline is waiting for the perfect opportunity. There goes the Mighty Gust. Jumpy Line uses a dive, and Leamington throws out the Mighty Gust. That's a pretty insane combo. Now level 11 against level 10, only 7 kills in this game, 1 per minute on average. Makishi, hold that thought, in a lot of trouble there. Diablo pops the Apocalypse. Minjong again going in. Here comes the Wandering Keg. It's not going to do anything though, and we still see the damage being dealt towards the fort. The fort's probably going to take the fall here. Dropping a lot of HP. Jumpy Line jumping onto Penguin again, and there we have it. It is, after all, going to be the Twilight Dream. Chen goes down. They punish the Illidan and Chen for going out of position there with the Twilight Dream. Never thought that would be possible, but it is. And Penguin, man, just with the plays, making sure that the team gets the advantage at turning points, at fort pushes. Security just need an additional 13 turn in, and they just got that amount. Very good. They got about 46 on hand, so I'm not worried about the turn-in amount. I'm just worried about how much of a value they're going to get out of this set of Web Weavers. It should be all 3 lanes pushed out with the towers gone, but we'll have to see if that's actually going to be a reality here coming out of Skyline. They seem to be playing very passively. Top lane seems a bit troubled. Penguin's there for the rescue. He's going to be able to clear this one up, and the Web Weaver should be able to push down the lane pretty well. Don't think they can actually get any tower addressed from this set of Web Weaver. Bottom lane is a single Feldstat defense. Rest of Skyline just basically being inefficient and just hanging around. Top lane, we still see the boss. Sorry, Web Weaver pushing the lane there. It's pretty good to see. On this side, though, for the mid lane, it does seem to me that it's extreme wipeout that needs to be very careful because they've been targeted so many times already in most of the fights that has happened. Asura taking a bit of a damage from the purple Kamehameha. And Leamington, you gotta be very careful with barrel rolls to safety. The gate's gone. I repeat, the gate's gone. The boss is pushing in. The boss is also gone. And all of a sudden, you see Skyline just retreating here. They just want to play it safe. I don't think that they are actually going for any cheese or anything like that of the sort. Probably just want to make sure that they stay alive in this game and do whatever they can. So it should be the most realistic Tyrande I've seen so far. Okay, no, actually not Tyrande. I mean, definitely the best Illidan going to play. Hold that thought. The fight's going to happen here. Makishi in a little bit of trouble. Apocalypse does connect. Only on one target. Jumpy line already in the back line doing a lot of damage. Penguin in a lot of trouble there. You don't see the Twilight Dream being very effective. Penguin dropping. Jumpy line giving chase to the back line again. But he knows he's completely out of position, so he's going to wait for Chen to catch up. Chen goes in for the flying kick. Thrall goes down. Tastar goes down as well. 3 men down on the side of Skyline, and it looks very much one-sided. There's nothing that the fight could have, evolved into from that point onwards, actually. So Rhaegar with the same old ancestral healing. Twilight Dream. Not sure how that's going to be. Hey, let's just go back into the replay just now. Fight that happened just barely before. The real time's in the bottom left. You see that the Twilight Dream not doing anything. I don't think they're actually going in for Malfurion in that instance, and Thrall's not anywhere close to anyone. He's just hesitating again, and he decides to pull back out. Now back to real time, we just saw the mid lane getting defended here by Skyline. Almost level 13. To get level 13, they can pick a fight. But so far, for a blue team, it does look like it's going to be the standard Relentless into Earth Shield. We've also got a 6th Sense Illusionist coming in with Giant Killer. So it is still going to be the teleport build. Guys, the main reason why I don't like the teleport build is that I don't think it does enough damage. And so far, I've seen the Singaporeans play the Arcane Knob build, which works pretty okay. About 140,000 damage and a good amount of takedowns. Would say that the Leeming did its job. Here, teleport build just basically increases survivability. May not necessarily be enough though. The Calamity is gonna help Leeming just do a little bit more damage, but the Illusion is gonna reduce the cooldown, and that's gonna help us stay alive. Thing here is that Leeming, man, should be looking at range bombardment of Arcane Ops. You should be throwing out Arcane Ops from here, from this area going in. And that's going to be quite painful. Now we still see the set of Web Weavers descending and going through the lane. Top Web Weaver already gone. The mid one also addressed. The bottom lane's all that's left coming out of Renovatio II. Leamington behind, trying to guard a flank coming in if possible. And you see that the boss is losing a lot of HP very quickly. Makishi doing whatever he can to keep the enemy away from the base here. The boss is still, oh sorry, not the boss. The Web Weaver will still go down. And for the blue team, Renovatio II, they are very confident. They are level 16 up against level 13. Probably, yep, we have Diamond Skin on Leeming. And for Felstad, it does seem like it's going to be the hammer time. That's the stun that he needs. Because Stone Skin, very standard Illidan build. A standard same old one-dimensional Illidan build. Rising Storm going to be here as well. That's going to increase the damage of Lightning Chill. You also see pressure point. So it looks to be a very, very consistent set of talents that Renovatio has been picking this entire tournament. For Skyline, though, they do have the Shrink Ray, Deep Shift. Sorry, Prescience. That's not Deep Shift. Deep Shift is at level 7, which I think he went for the Colorless Embrace instead. Thrall with the Windsure, I think. Grace of Air, sorry. And meanwhile, you have got that Diablo going in for Soul Catcher, Soul Steal, and here with Firestorm. So he's going not for full-fledged damage build, but rather something a little bit mixed in between. Then we have the Mighty Gust forcing the disengage, but is there going to be enough to buy them time? Wandering Keg also being used. And Asurai taking a bit of a damage. That goes to Sundering. Is there going to be enough? The boss will spawn here for the blue team. Chen already gone. And the red team still giving chase. It looks like it's not going to be enough. Rhaegar gonna take the fall. That's 2 men down on the side here for Renovatio. And Skyline still giving chase against this Illidan. Boss pushing the top lane. We got the Mercenary Camps pushing the mid lane. This is actually a really bad spot here for Skyline to be in. Illidan also getting caught out here. Some extra shields going out, which is why he's still alive. But Makishi pulling back in. And Greymane already level 15, need a level 16. And I think he went for something pretty interesting. It's not a standard one. This is actually on the prow. Movement speed increased by 30% while Inabis is active. For 3 seconds, I think that's okay. The thing here about on the prow is that you have to really go for the backline. Diablo dropping, meanwhile, a good trade against Illidan because he's gonna be able to respawn quickly, and it's like 4 seconds he gets 1 soul. So he will be able to get a total of 100 souls by 400 seconds, which basically, if you do the math, it is about 5, 6 minutes, and would say maybe 20 seconds? Somewhere around there. He's also able to soak up the charge on the Black Soulstone when he kills minions, so that's okay. That's a great trade. The EXP kind of nullifies each other, but in terms of having 1 extra useful body in this game, that's not going to happen. Asurai getting the full lockdown combo. Gonna be very careful. Nice flying kick, gonna be okay as well. Extremely 41 Jams trying to turn in. Makishi goes in for the body block, but does not convince Thrall to stay there for the channeling. There we go, the Wandering Cat going in as well. Apocalypse connecting on 2 targets on the flip side. Gonna be very careful. Makishi's here by himself. There's no support. Chendas go down at the end. Makishi trading for Diablo. Gonna be very careful about it. Disintegrate connecting on multiple targets. But then we have the Twilight Dream just basically silencing Illidan. Illidan's gonna be able to pull back out 4 now, dropping a lot of HP. Greymane's gonna go down and Ancestral connects onto the backline. Rhaegar's already gone. And the trade still going in. Leeming still alive. Thrall does not have a lockdown, does not have the Pharaoh Spirit. You see the Illidan still giving chase against Makishi. And that's going to be a 1-for-3 exchange in favor for Skyline. Fight still going on somehow. Penguin dropping very low already. Should not be here, but still wants to use the entangling route. Going to be very careful. Jumpy Lion looking for the dive. The shield does connect there. Jumpy Lion being baited very, very hard. Going to be very careful. Sweeping strike, Immolation doing a lot of work. Penguin dropping. Penguin is still going to be alive. Great plays there by Malfurion, and he kills his brother. It's a 5-man team wipe. Renovatio, they were so far so good in this game, but all of a sudden, they just lost whatever gem they had on hand. They need 18 more for the next wave of turn-in, and so far we're going to see the first set of Raid Web Weavers come down. We got a replay ready. We're going to pull it out for you guys while the Web Weavers are being channeled up here. Look at this Apocalypse. Really beautiful connection on both the Illidan and Rhaegar in the back line there. Makishi dropping a lot of HP, but Chin already gone. The Wandering Cat, yep, you actually get position, it's favorable positioning, because you go in the Wandering Cat, you push out the enemy, but you also take up a lot of damage. You could also die there. Greymane dropping, Rhaegar gone. I'd like to point out that the Twilight Dream is just a counter against Illidan. That's how the Filipinos does it. It's a little bit questionable for me, because there's a lot of other things that could counter. You don't have to pick a Malfurion and go Twilight Dream like, hello. Meanwhile, this play here is really awesome, but we don't have time. We're going back to real time. And Makishi going in. Already you can see the Wandering Cat pushing Thrall completely out of position. The Sundering goes in. Also going to see the Apocalypse. Makishi going to be fine. We also saw the Twilight Dream connecting only on 1 target. Wipeout pulling back out. Lemington going to be okay. Taking a bit of a damage though. Don't think it's going to be for a kill. Illidan giving chase against Diablo. Diablo still's got, I think, full charge on his Black Soul, so it's not going to be easy. The root going down. Penguin now. Brothers against brothers, and Diablo here to spoil the party. Meanwhile, Tassadar just buying a lot of time. The Web Weaver still pushing the lane here. Don't think I've actually seen a lot of value from this one. Jumpy Lion mounting up. Shield expiring, but no kills regardless. No Torunda whatsoever. We're going to lose the fort on the bottom lane. The mid fort's also gone. It's at least some form of a value here. They also get level 21st for Skyline. What a throw it is. But definitely Renovatio II needs to get that level 20. And that is the thing that's been lacking so far. You see Skyline rotating around the lanes level 20 and already having the Storm Talons picked up. Uh-oh, boys. We're looking at a Twilight Dream upgrade. This is it. It's Nightmare. Silence duration increased to 4 seconds. Wow. And it also slows by 50%. I've never seen that in my entire life. Storm Shield getting picked up. I'm exaggerating, but double bolt of the Storm as well. And here for Greymane's Hunter's Blunderbuss, very standard build coming out of Greymane. It's the same consistent Gilnean Cocktail Concentrated Blast going into Hunter's Blunderbuss. It basically gives Splash, and that works pretty well. Malfurion did not go for Standard Ice Block, went for Shrink Ray, and I think Tenacious Roots, which would be a bit of extra 25% longer, and half a second longer as well. It's the main reason why it's very important. Penguin's main job in his lineup as Malfurion really is just to provide lockdown with Entangling Root and a huge counter against Illidan. You see Illidan going with Metamorphosis or just dive on one target, and all of a sudden it's going to be just the Twilight Dream silencing Illidan, and he's not mobile. It's easy to be taken out. Got to be very careful. Here's where Toronto would have actually saved this game, because we are now looking at a possible core attempt. They're going and Illidan's doing the work. Makishi coming from behind. And there we have Mighty Gus being blown in the wrong direction already. Wandering Kag still buying even more time. And it's not going to have the Apocalypse connecting the backline. Illidan still knocking on the core by himself, but Felstat's already gone. They need to stop Illidan. It's the one that's doing the damage to the core. Asurai still buying some time, and you still see the Chen going in to do a lot of backdoor damage for now. Still doing whatever he can, and we see the Twilight Dream, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. The Chen dropping, and also Illidan's going down. The Mule coming back out. That would be the joke of the day, sir, because the healing will be done, and they get unobstructed access to a boss, to the fort, to the core. Leeming is the only guy that's alive. 4 men down. Crazy plays right there. 35% on the core. He's getting healed back up per second right now. We got a replay, but we're actually going to save the replay in case the game ends here. Makishi going for the keep. And all of a sudden, Skyline may actually win this. So Makishi looking for the overpower with Bolt of the Storm, but does not get it off. No Emerald Dream for 45 seconds. Oh, sorry. Twilight Dream. I really wish that it was Emerald Dream in this game, but it's Twilight Dream instead. And that's about 35 seconds. Archon 38. They cannot end this game. They realize that they're going to have to pull back. Core getting killed back out to 51. You're going to have to call down a lot more Mule than that. Yeah, Malfurion has got a repair mechanic. Would have been a lot better if Tesla also went for Mule, but don't think he's got that now. Kala's Embrace. It's very much needed talent pickup as well. You see all these extra shields. That's basically Tesla just giving them extra HP. Raid Web Weavers coming out. They didn't go for the boss. They went for the keep. Don't think the boss would have been very helpful because the fort's still standing here. And again, Jumpy Lion. He gets spotted out here. Are they all gonna pot back? Yep, there we have it. Nobody's gonna try and stop them. Thrall needs to pot back. He's a bit slow here. Okay, they already cancel and pull back out. They're trying to clear the Web Weaver on top right here. And you can see that the cancellation on the Hearthstone. Uh-oh, 3 targets. That's not a full 5. 5 versus 3 right now. Renovatio a little bit of a bad spot. The root will go in, but also the Wandering Cat being used. Chen trying to stay alive with the Wandering Cat. It's got an extra speed upgrade. So it's like a Ferrari right there. We'll be able to jet on out of it. Storm Shield coming out for Rhaegar at least. Web Weaver already reaching the core. You also see Illidan going for standard upgrade on his Metamorphosis. Also, the Wind Tunnel just now. And it looks like it's going to be Temporal Flux on Disintegrate. That's going to provide some extra slow. Look at that. Makishi with the overpower again. Nothing much being done. Mighty Gus being used. Apocalypse connecting on multiple targets. I think 3 of them. But no follow-up. And that's a 70 seconds cooldown on Sundering and 90 seconds cooldown on Apocalypse. Talk about value here. Felstad. Man, the Mighty Gus was basically what saved them this game. 18 against 11 and still going. All 3 Web Weavers already gone. Not much of a value being achieved here. Gotta be very careful. I think it could be backdoor, it could be boss, but we have 23 minutes in Tomb of Spider Queen. Skyline trying to knock onto the boss. Makishi taking a little bit of unnecessary damage there. Blue Web Weavers descending. They decide to give up on the boss. The boss, okay, it's not gonna stay. Makishi now, not full HP, gotta be very careful. He pops the Fire Stomp, a little bit extra damage on the backline, but nope, it does not work. That Bolt of the Storm actually saved Leeming, or rather, that teleport saved Leeming there. You saw the Twilight Dream as an absolute miss. Asurai in front, Asurai in central, does not connect, and Chen does go down. Rhaegar's gone as well. Kaija pulling back Makishi, giving the front line chase. It could be a game here. Blue Web Weaver pushing, but it doesn't matter. Jumpy Lion in a lot of trouble. Illidan's already gone. Extreme still giving chase. Don't see the Pharaoh Spirit, but the Sundering also a bit of a miss there. Leamington could have been dead, but they have to go back to defend. Game is still not over, it's still going on because of the Web Weavers, and you see Skyline playing just very safe. It was an absolute waste on the Twilight Dream. It's very unfortunate, but that's just how it is. The teleport did its work. It kept Leaming alive. Got to be very careful when you try and land a combo like that. We got a replay, and we are actually going to pull the replay out while the red team clears the Web Weaver in the bottom lane. Look at this. Kaija, very, very nice teleport back out of trouble. I thought it's Bolo Storm because I thought it's Jaina. It looks like Jaina, but somehow it's actually not. It's Leaming, teleport back out of Surai, already taking too much damage in front. And at the end, still going down. Makishi there also just basically taking a lot of damage now. And that's it. 2 men down. 3. And it could be worse. It could be worse if the Sundering connected here. So we're going back to real time, and it seems like game number 3s are traditionally a lot harder to finish. 25 minutes in. Look at the Mule. It's just doing its work. 82% on the core. It's still going back up, and we still have got like, what, 65 gems for quota. The Tangling Root being used, but Makishi could not land the overpower. They all are looking for gems right now. Top lane still pretty much pushed in for the red team. Mid lane pushed in for the blue team. Illidan not sure what he's doing here by himself. Red team sticking as 5s. If they catch anyone here, would be game. Minjong gonna be very careful. Spots out Leaming. Leaming with the teleport. But meanwhile, there's also the Mighty Guts in the back line, and Diablo gets completely sanctioned out of position there. Gonna be very careful. Wandering Keg also trying to do some damage, and I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve there, but I can see Apocalypse not gonna connect on anyone. Shrinkray also being used. Illidan already on the core, doing a lot of backdoor damage. Rest of them just buying time for him to do that damage there. Meanwhile, you see Rhaegar going down. I don't think Illidan's gonna be in time. 83% on the core. Asurai, and you see Greymane doing its work. Not enough. They want to go for core. It's a base race now. 87%. The shield still going up. Jumping line jumping around the core. Feldstedt with the take flight all the way back in. But it seems like blue team's core is going to drop first. It's 30% against 38. It seems like it's going to be very close, but the blue team will lose this one. Skyline wins it by just the breath of a hair here. Crazy game being played by Skyline and Renovatio. They picked up Rhaegar. They went directly for core. And just that's it, man. Illidan by himself could have been a lot better if they had the support of someone else with the Illidan. Illidan with the backdoor mechanics, man. That has to stop. But 77,000 hero damage coming up from Leaming. Did his work, but no kills. You realize it's 77,000 damage and only 2 kills? The only reason for this is that she's doing the damage, but she's not killing anyone. Now, what this means, if you look at the talent options here, these are all not enough to burst out one person. It's going to be the Arcane Up that will burst down people. And at the same time, this also is a huge testament to the heal that you see coming out of Tessadar. 76,000. 76,000 heals from Tessadar, all from shields. Nothing more than that. Malfurion also with regrowth. And it's basically good healers really counter against Leaming, which is why Leaming's not that great. 1 good Rhaegar or 2 good support is going to be enough. And all of a sudden, you see Twilight Dream being a viable choice here in SEA. Mind absolutely blown. I've talked about Rhaegar's Bloodlust. I've talked about a lot of things, including a washing machine combo. But here, man, Twilight Dream is one of those things that I was being very realistic about that will never happen. We got a replay, by the way. So we're going to the replay. Asurai here. This Apocalypse is a waste, but Illidan's all the way in front. You see, he's still knocking on the core. The shield is pretty thick, actually. Mule coming back down, that's going to buy some time, and buy a lot of time, I think. What I meant by that is Illidan's going to knock onto the Mule instead. Muse. That's a ban. Mule instead. Asurai. All of a sudden, he should have saved Wandering Cat. For one simple reason, in the event that there's a base race. Wandering Keg would have saved them this game. That is such a waste. Such a waste. They wanted to take a fight against, without Illidan, and they popped the Wandering Keg. That's really, really a mistake. I feel that if he kept Wandering Keg, he would have saved the game. He would have kept the core alive, and at the same time, you don't need Wandering Keg in an engagement. What did Wandering Keg achieve? It just zone Diablo out. Like, what are you trying to do? You cannot kill Diablo. There's no Illidan there. Leaming by herself. there's nothing, and just Felstad already using the Mighty Guts to blow the enemy to the back line. You have the best core defense mechanic. That's the Wandering Cat. You're gonna have to use it to defend the core. Yeah, that's the other realization I got about that game. All right, guys, we're now going to the upper bracket finals. We go for a short break first, and we'll be back shortly. Hope you guys enjoyed this discussing coverage. I'm Babel. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. We are halfway through the tournament. There's still a lot more games along the way. Philippines is a very unique meta. Hope that has been insightful for you guys. And shout outs to sponsors, Razer, PLDT, Sharp, as well as Streaming Partner XSplit. Without them, this would not all be possible. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are going for a break. Upper bracket finals going to be up next. We'll be back shortly. It's a bit split here between the Queen's Curse. ETC a little bit out of position. Misery Pros throwing out the Arcane up. Min Jung going to get polymorphed already by Queen's Curse, and a wipeout and not going to connect on that one. He respawns as Diablo. We still got about 35 seconds before the red one comes back up here. And it seems like blue team's in a lot of trouble already. The damage going through to Diablo. Disintegrate coming in as well. And here goes the Apocalypse. Does not connect on Liming. Nice teleport back out. But look at him, mosh pit. It's a 5-man mosh pit. And it will be the Harlem Shake. Nobody's going to expect that. We are now going in.